Hey guys, it's Bradley. Welcome to my channel, Portly Gentleman. On this channel, I do all sort of homebrewing stuff. I try and focus on high-end homebrewing equipment and techniques. I also like to do a little bit of DIY because there's still quite a few spaces in the homebrew space that need some innovation yet. It's kind of a tongue twister, but there are, and I like to solve problems. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to put a glass rinser in your Keezer, kegerator, or pretty much anywhere else without having to have a water line and without having to have a dedicated drain line. If that sounds like a video you would like to watch, please like and subscribe and stick around. Research it, mash it, boil it, ferment it, drink it, analyze it, share it. Homebrewing is good. All right, here's a look at the tools we're going to use today. The hammer and the step drill I didn't wind up using, but I love step drills and hammers. I'm using my Milwaukee M12 drill as well as my Milwaukee hole saw set. Love both these items, as well as some old silicone tubing I bought off Amazon that turns out I didn't need, but I found a use. I'll also be using a keg for this project. You could also use some stuff from Kegland. You use a plastic bottle and some other stuff to pressurize it. The reason I like this drill so much is I'm used to something that looks tiny in my hands, and I don't find it intimidating. So here's a look at the rinser I picked up. I got this guy off Amazon, link below. It's stainless steel. Its fit and finish is pretty good. I actually got a couple and wound up only keeping this one from different manufacturers. But the stainless finish is great. The rinsing mechanism works flawlessly, and it does mount flush, which is critical for what we're doing today. Here's a look at the inside of the tray. It drains pretty well, not 100% perfect, but definitely good enough. Here's a look at the bottom size. It has a drain spout as well as a 3/4 inch water inlet. I especially like this one because it comes with everything you need. It comes with the drain spout as well as a supply line with a quick connect to that 3/4 inlet, so you can just hook it right up to your ball lock. Super simple. It also comes with a microfiber. Here we are taping off the area I'm going to work. I love blue tape, guys. I can't help myself. Wanted to protect the top of my Keezer, and blue tape's really good for that. Just checking fitment, trying to figure out how this thing's going to work. Initially, I had some issues, so I wound up taking out the rinsing valve itself. It's super easy to pop out, and so you can get the right, accurate kind of spacing and hole depth. So, measuring, this is unusual amounts of precision for me. I'm really trying to get this centered up and measured out properly. Oh, there we go, 6 inches. That's a number that won't intimidate me. I wound up using a framing square to space it off of the edge of the Keezer and get everything where I want it. Make sure it was pretty much as square as I could get it. The body itself wasn't perfectly square, but you can't tell by looking at it, and it doesn't matter. But this definitely worked to get it where I wanted it. And I'm just marking it here, honestly, forego this step. I was just overthinking things. Next, I'm marking the holes. This is a highly precise matter. Look at the time I'm taking and just look at the precision of that with my pen and my sausage fingers, just dialing in those marks just so. Next, I'm checking fitment of the hole saw. Yeah, that's a good enough tolerance for me. Getting my drill ready. I swear in a minute you'll think I've never used a drill in my entire life. This drill's powerful, M12, link below. They're no joke. I recommend a lightweight drill. But you really got to hold on to it and be ready for it. Just watch. Here it comes. Oh, man. Got away from me. Nonetheless, just bear down on it and hog right through it. It shouldn't matter. Only thing that's hurt here is my pride. And just sink through the top of the chest fuse insulation or your kegerator. I think you guys can make this work in a kegerator if you want it, and there's no cooling line, I believe, on the top or refrigeration components. But check with your manufacturer for that. Now I'm checking fitment again on the drain line. Yep, that's precise enough. Chucking up the hole saw, because that's what you got to do, or screwing it in. This hole was much easier to get. I was ready for it to come try and bite me. It's a lot of insulation up there. Just push through it and just drill it. better at screwing than I am drilling. And there you go, just clean up the mess. It's a tidy workspace, it's a good workspace, right? Teflon tape. I'm not going to put a wrench on this brass piece because I don't want to mess up the drain. I just put a ton of tape and got it hand tight, and I think that worked just fine. I would advise a minimum of 10 wraps. And there it is, just getting hand tight. I highly recommend you guys get the shark bite fittings if you're going to do this. They're way cheaper than the clamps you get from More Beer or another homebrew shop. Also recommend boiling hot water to loosen up any kind of these like PEX or Waterline hoses. I like to heat both ends. It makes it way easier to force it on there. You just kind of just spit on it if you want, but just slide it on there and cinch it down all the way. Honestly, I think that connection's good enough, but I'm going to throw one of these Bandy single-use clamps on here. I find that crimping just so satisfying for some reason. What about you? There's that piece of old silicone, I think it's 1/2 inch, and the inside diameter is very, very similar. I just cut it off. That'll drape into my drain, actually. There's a quick cut. Pull off the tape. And of course that didn't cooperate, but you get the idea. Clean off the area, feed your hoses all through the inside. My hoses are a little long. As well as the drain line, drop that down. Just don't be scared. And this is just a test fit to make sure that it looks how I want. I mean, I made holes, so not much I can do. Now I've got my favorite silicone, this Gorilla silicone. Stuff works great, it dries quick, it's a nice strong bond. And as you can see here, I'm not a master with the caulk here. It's been a while since I handled the caulking gun, but I eventually figure it out and just goop it on there everywhere. I didn't want to make a giant mess. It only needs to be held in place when the lid's flipped up, and just I don't want any leaks of coldness coming out, which I can verify my job was good enough. Then I pressed it firmly in place. Then I just got some heavy stuff, a couple CO2 bottles, and plopped them on top of it to make sure nothing moved and there was a good solid bond. And I let it cure up, probably not long enough because I wanted to try out my rinser. Everything is sitting on top of the shelf that's for the compressor. All the hoses run up through the top of the lid. I'm using a 2.5 gallon keg as well as a 1 gallon bottle for the drain. I'm looking for a better bottle, but I didn't want to drop the cash. That's the top of it all done. All that's left at this point is just to rinse glasses in slow motion. Right now I have it set about 7 psi. I think that's a good pressure on CO2. Definitely not going to make soda water, I don't think. Another added benefit is that my Keezer is set around 34 degrees. I think that's 1.1 degrees Celsius or so. So it really chills down the glasses. You don't have any contamination. You're going to have a much better pour, I think, and it's just cool. We've all got that one friend that's showing off his glass rinser on YouTube and on Instagram and just making everyone jealous. Well, I'm no longer jealous of that. I got the whole project put together. It honestly, even with filming, guys, it took me less than an hour and a half to do all this. Super simple. I highly recommend it. It works really, really well. And this is a lot of rinsing footage. All right, time for a Pilsner. This Pilsner I made with Mecha Grade Estate Malt. If you guys haven't tried Mecha Grade Malt, really give it a try. I think it's worth it. This beer is almost as clear as I want it to be. Truthfully, I did not put any Whirlfloc in the boil. I forgot it. I was busy. And there it is. Just a nice crisp Pilsner, nice rinsed glass. So all in all, guys, this project was moderately expensive. The rinser itself was about 110 bucks. They do make one that's smaller. It's slightly cheaper. I'll link that below. You could also do, like I said in the beginning, you could use Kegland, has some fittings where you can use like a 2-liter Coke bottle. That's all the reservoir you need. These things don't take a ton of water and they don't need a ton of pressure. I operate mine about 7 psi and it works great every single time. There's also the added benefit of chilling your glass. Around here in Southern California, an ice cold glass is good. It definitely kind of adds to the experience of drinking your beer, I think. And to me, that's worth a great deal. It also definitely get a better pour, especially if the glass has some dust or something in it. It's just awesome. I definitely want to give the beer that I've made its best chance to be as good as it can be. I think this is one way to do it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Bradley. Remember, home brewing is good, and I'll see you real soon.